Hi all, I hope you enjoyed my last video on my predictions for the 2024 UK election. If you haven't seen that yet, check it out on my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing the 2024 US presidential election, which is likely to be between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. Prediction: Donald Trump will defeat Joe Biden in the 2024 US election. Many will still remember the aftermath of the 2020 election. This election could be described as the COVID election, with a huge upsurge in postal voting taking place due to the pandemic. When the on-day votes were being counted on the night, Trump appeared to have built up such a big lead that he could not be caught, winning key states such as Florida and Ohio. However, this turned out to be wrong, with Biden winning the election when all votes were counted, including states such as Arizona and Georgia, which in recent times have always voted Republican. Trump and many senior Republicans declared that the election had been rigged and began a legal campaign to overturn the result, but were ultimately unsuccessful in their efforts. The January 6th riot on Capitol Hill meant that many, including myself, thought that this was the end of Trump's political career. In addition, I never expected Joe Biden to run for a second term. The man was nearly 78 years of age when the 2020 election took place, and his seemingly unusual behavior at speeches or elsewhere, when he appears on camera, have continued and worsened in the years since. It is shocking that Donald Trump looks almost certain to be the Republican candidate, despite all the ongoing legal issues he is facing, including the Supreme Courts in states such as Colorado and Maine, deeming him ineligible to be on the ballot in the Republican primaries. And equally shocking that Joe Biden, who is 81 years of age, and at times appears to be confused as to where he actually is and what he'll be discussing, will be the Democratic candidate. The fact that Biden is being kept on suggests that the Democrats genuinely consider him to be their best chance of defeating Trump in 2024. Make of that what you will. To understand why I think Trump will win the next US election, it is important to go over some figures in the last election. Joe Biden received 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232 electoral votes. At first glance, this sounds like a convincing victory, and also represents the same margin of victory Trump had over Hillary Clinton. But if you dig a little deeper, you can see that Biden's victory in 2020 was so small, it is insane. A fact not widely reported by the press at the time. For those not aware, each state in America has a number of electoral votes, dependent on the population, with more highly populated states, such as California and Texas, having more votes than less populated states, such as Wyoming or North Dakota. The following states had these narrow margin of victories in 2020. Please note these figures have been rounded to the nearest thousand. Arizona, a difference of 12,000. Georgia, also a difference of 12,000. And Pennsylvania, a difference of 81,000. That's a total of 105,000 extra votes Biden got in these three states compared to Trump. If just half of these, i.e., 53,000, had gone to Trump, he would have ended up with 279 electoral votes and won the election. To put this into perspective, approximately 155,507,000 votes were cast in this election. 105,000 votes out of over 155 million equates to less than 0.1% of the total votes. This does not even consider other states, such as Wisconsin and Nevada, where Trump also lost narrowly by 20,000 and 34,000 votes respectively, and neither of these states voted for him in 2016 either. Although Trump received 7 million less votes than Biden in 2020, clearly he does not have to convince a huge number of voters to opt for him this time round, provided he can get the same voters out for him as he did last time. Postal voting will be far less common in this election too. Republicans and Democrats differ hugely on voting requirements, such as postal voting and voter ID. Something which cannot be argued against, however, is that postal voting is far more susceptible to fraud compared to in-person voting. Given that the Democrats received a huge amount of votes by post in the last election, this is unlikely to be repeated this time round, due to legal changes which have restricted the ease of voting by post now that the pandemic is over. This is likely to damage Biden's chances. Current polling suggests Trump is ahead in several of the key battleground states, which cost him the election last time. Biden has been in office for 3 years now, and many Americans are unhappy with his leadership, whether it be the withdrawal from Afghanistan, billions of funds being sent to Ukraine, or his inability to deal with millions of illegal immigrants crossing the southern border. Being out of office has meant that Trump has had the benefit of being critical of Biden's presidency, rather than having to defend his own performance. Trump needs to keep the states he won in 2020 and capture a few of the swing states to win this election. The popular vote is irrelevant. The tiny swings needed in key states, Biden's poor performance and unusual behavior at events such as press conferences, and a determined Donald Trump in his base means that I think Donald Trump will defeat Joe Biden in the 2024 US election. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you want to hear more about this topic and similar ones, please like and subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Many thanks. Bye.